Hey everyone, real quick before we get into it, don't forget to
like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Check out the podcast on Podbean. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, and Google Play.
And with all that said and done, let's get to it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 121 of the Hella Average Gamescast. This week, sadly, it's just me and Jeremy. We're two men. Carmen decided to come watch another football game. How dare he?
This sports man's tearing us apart.
Jeremy, it's all your fault for bringing sports into the world.
I tell you, what was I thinking?
So I think, but you know, we can hold it down pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, we don't need him. What does he know? Yeah, too many beards in the pot.
Right. But so we got a little bit of news. We kind of recorded, we dropped on Monday, but we usually record the week's episode on like a Thursday, then we drop that week's episode on Monday, but we actually recorded this last Monday, and now we're recording again on Saturday. So kind of a quicker turnaround, more than we're used to. So, but we still got some pretty cool news that come out, so we got a little bit to talk about. But before we get into that, Jeremy, have you played anything cool? What you been up to?
I've just really been pounding that Dragon Quest on my Switch. It's just, God, I love that game. I'm just getting sucked back into it. I found some like quality of life improvements I didn't notice last time. Like in the original PS4 version, you can forge items with the fun size forge and make some of the best weapons in the game and stuff. But you can only do it at campsites. And in this version, you can do it anywhere you want. Just press the start button, choose it, and you can go to town and start making your equipment, which is super awesome. What's also even better is if you don't have all the ingredients you need to make something, you can automatically buy them at the forge instead of going out there and finding the shops that sell them or finding them in the wild. As long as they've just been found at some point, you can buy them again. So super nice. Makes it so much better.
That's cool, and I was noticing, people don't really pay attention to how important those quality of life things are. Like,
oh, yeah.
In Borderlands, if you're too close to a weapon when you pick it up, there's always a box that pops up to tell you all the stats and all that.
Yeah.
You can't see it. It's like you're zoomed in, like you can't see it. So like you got to actually physically back your character off. And I'm like, why would you do that? Just make this work. But like when things like that happen and they fix it, you're like, hallelujah.
I know. It's one of those things where you didn't know it was broken. Like the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This one was I didn't know it was broke until they fixed it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I also messed around with the 2D mode in the game where it turns it back into 16-bit sprites. And,
nice. Very cool.
And while it does look neat, I don't like it. Like, I don't like playing in that mode because the game's actually quite a bit harder. Because the general way battle flows in the standard 3D mode is like, it's very Final Fantasy-like where, your turn comes up, you do your action, and then you choose, the next character comes up, they do their action, enemy does theirs, so forth, back and forth, like Final Fantasy X.
Right.
Where the classic mode does it very old school, where you input everyone's commands, and then everyone takes their turns, and then you do it all over again. So it's not as it's harder to be more strategic, basically. And plus it does,
cool.
And plus combat doesn't look as good in 16-bit. It's because you can't see your characters at all. You just see the enemies, and you just kind of like see the sprites flicker. There's a bunch of text on screen. Like I said, I played the NES ones. They're fine for what they are, but we've evolved to a point now where it's just hard to go back to that. So it was nice to do, but I wouldn't play the game like that the whole way through.
So it's nice to see it. You just couldn't stand doing it all the time.
No. Like the only time I have to do it is there's a completely new side quest in the game. There's this village you go to called like Talkington or something, and it's all in 16-bit. And it's kind of neat. Like you'll find these little like creatures throughout the world, and they'll give you passwords, and then you go to Talkington and you go to like these books, and you can transport yourself to the previous Dragon Quest games, to the actual towns and all that stuff, and do side quests there because someone's like messing up the timeline or something. Some neat little fan service and whatnot. But that's...
Let me ask you a question. Do you think this version's better than the original because of these quality of life changes, or you just still like the original one the best?
I think this is probably the best version of the game. The only thing the PS4 does better is the graphics. Because this one has...
Gotcha. Okay.
This does have a downgrade. It's kind of blurry in handheld mode. It's fine in TV mode or dock mode.
Dock mode, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not as good looking as the PS4 version. But just because of the quality of life improvements, and also they've added a whole bunch of side quests. There's more options for like the main character at the end. He can get married. In the original version, you only marry one girl. This one, you can marry multiple. You can choose which girl you want. Which is cool. And all of your party members have side quests towards the end of the game to give them more depth, which I really like. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I've just heard about it, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Very nice.
Basically, I would say if you're planning to pick it up since you don't have it already, I would suggest the Switch version.
Perfect. There you have it from the mouth himself. Pick it up on the Switch. It seems like all in all, entire package. That's the best way to play it. I've been playing mostly Borderlands. That's been the main thing that's had my attention. It probably will for some time. Been playing a lot with Carmen. The game's fun, dude. It's just so. But the thing is, and I'll be honest with you, the more I play, I have lost interest in the story. I really lost interest in the story early on, but the story is absolutely just bland at this point.
I've actually heard from fans that I think the story in almost all the Borderland games has been kind of throwaway, with the exception of 2, maybe.
Yeah, 2 was really good.
But I've also heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people don't like the villains in this game.
You're right, because it's going off where Handsome Jack was such a good villain.
Yeah, I heard Handsome Jack was apparently amazing, and they said what they're called, the Calypso twins or something.
Yeah, they're the Calypso twins, and they're not bad. They're just very
annoying.
Yeah, if you picture twins who riff off each other in a terrible jokes, that kind of thing.
I've seen clips, so I heard that they're supposed to be influencers and parodies of them. You know what I'm saying?
They run a channel or a YouTube video or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate the commentary, but I can see that getting real old real quick.
It does, but the thing is, what makes the gameplay and the aesthetic is just so damn good. It just holds up for it,
Yeah.
A game where you can just completely throw the story away and have a blast, and this one does it. So, great game. Still having a lot of fun with it. I'd probably say I'm about halfway through. I'm level 27, maybe.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't necessarily end. You can crank it up to mayhem levels 1 through 3, and what that does is that gives you different modifications, your bullets do 50% less damage or whatever. And that's kind of the end game right now. But I think they're adding raids and stuff. So
okay,
they're going to support the game for a while. So I'll be playing this. But yeah, that's really been taking up most of my time, and I've been having this itch to play Smash. But I'll probably play some Borderlands when we get off here tonight.
Yeah, I was playing some Smash Day with my young cousins. And tell you what, man, you want a good ego boost, kicking the crap out of a couple of 9-year-olds really helps.
I'm about to say, did you just put it on them as hard as you could? Get out of my house.
Oh, dude, we were doing 3 stock, and I didn't even have to really fight for most of the time. They just kept jumping off of the arenas.
That's amazing. Did you get up and in your face?
I should have. I'd been yeah, what now, boy?
It's like the movies where somebody gets overly hyped for beating somebody that's disabled in basketball or something.
Yeah. Guess you don't need them legs anyway.
Shouldn't have came to my house, Will boy. But let's move on, Jeremy. Let's get rocking. So we talked about what we've been playing, but we all know we're here to talk about what's been going on. So, do you know what time it is?
I was really hoping you were going to say, do you know? And I was going to go, the Muffin Man?
Well, I know the Muffin Man.
I know you know the Muffin Man.
I know him very well.
But no, I know what time it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some news.
Okay, all right, here we go. Let's kick it off. And we might have we got some fun news to talk about, but this might be a shorter show, just with kind of stuff we're going over. So we're going to kick it off with a little bit of Nintendo news. We're moving on to Microsoft, and then we're going to finish up with a little bit of Sony news, and then a couple of odds and ends to pick up at the end. But let's rock on. We all know the one and only Reggie Fils-Aime, Nintendo of America president, I think he was before he retired.
President of America?
President of America, basically. Everybody knows Reggie. Reggie's the coolest kid in gaming, but he just got inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame, so a round of applause. That's pretty cool, if you ask me.
Definitely deserves it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew him, obviously, for this role, but I think he's been in video games for a while. I don't know if he did anything before that. I don't really know what he did before that.
I don't either. he's been with Nintendo since at least the Wii, I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but he was definitely he was very much a larger than life figure. A lot of people know him, love him, and he was very good public relations guy. Which
oh yeah, and you gotta think like the influencers and stuff. Like
Yeah.
even like when he go on podcasts, they'd get to call him just Reggie.
yeah,
Who else do you do that with? Like everybody else, you're like, oh, Mr. Layden or whatever.
yeah.
And Shuhei, people call Shuhei Shu.
Hey,
So
Shu.
that's pretty cool. Like
Yeah, I guess
Greg Miller,
Yeah,
he calls him Shu all the time.
like I say, Nintendo does pretty good with like hiring public relations people. I wish Sony and Xbox could kind of get their game up in that regard.
Yeah, we were I think we mentioned it last week talking about when Sean Layden stepped down, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, and how cringy some of these CEOs can be when they're up on
Yeah.
like the Game Awards and E3s, and they're like trying to tell a joke, but they're legit just reading off a teleprompter.
Oh, God.
It's bad.
Like
It is bad.
Like Mr. Caffeine. Remember that meme from E3 a few years ago?
Yes, I
Oof.
do. And
Ah.
I'll tell you who is good. Like Jeff Keighley, he does pretty good
Mm-hmm.
for the Video Game Awards, but like even he's more of a host and he's good at asking the right questions type deal. But even he gets kind of awkward sometimes, and I'm like, come on, guys, we got better people that can. We're nerds. We should be able to do this no problem with our eyes closed.
Now, you know who they should have kept around was Kevin Butler for Sony.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
he was awesome. I loved those commercials for the PS3. I mean,
Yeah,
love
he
or
was pretty cool.
love or hate the PS3, they had some of the best commercials when they brought him on board.
I agree. Now I'm thinking back to him, and it kind of makes me get nostalgic. I want to go watch them now.
That was actually one of my favorite gaming commercials. Was like it was just like the PS3 fans. Is it true the PS3 is getting a price cut? And he's just walking through the office like, price cut? What price cut? You just see like $2.99, $2.99, $2.99 everywhere. Wearing it takes off his jacket. There's a price cut $2.99, and just like that's just crazy.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, you like that kind of humor, so I can see that.
I love that. I loved him.
Yeah, it doesn't happen I think about people like there's a guy from Bethesda, and it's not Todd, it's another guy, and like he always comes on and like just starts dropping F-bombs.
I don't know who you're talking about, honestly, but the way you're describing it kind of sounds try-hardy. It's just like, hey there, fellow kids, F-bomb this.
It
F-bomb that.
would, but like
How
I
about
think
that
that's
current
really how
music?
he acts. I really do.
How about that current pop music, huh?
It's like that meme with old what's
Steve-
his name?
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Wearing
Hello,
the-
fellow kids.
Skateboard flung over the back, the t-shirt that just says music band. It's like me trying to fit in with sports.
Sports ball.
How about that local sports team, huh?
But we got off on a little tangent there. But good job, Reggie. That's pretty cool. Shoot him a tweet and tell him congrats. Gamespass. Let's switch it up to Microsoft a little bit.
Okay.
We have some cool games coming to Gamespass for October. Starting out with Dishonored 2, one of my all-time favorite games. One of my all-time favorite franchises, really.
All two of them.
World War Z, Yooka-Laylee, Fallout New Vegas, and Panzer Dragoon Orta. Did you ever play that one?
I never got a chance to play Panzer Dragoon. I heard that was, I think that's a direct sequel to Panzer Dragoon Saga. The one that they're remaking.
I do, yeah, I think it is.
Which I heard that was pretty good. In fact, this overall is a fairly good lineup from what I've seen. I mean, Dishonored 2 did fantastically. Don't know much about World War Z. I'm sure that's probably the weakest game there.
It did. You know what? My buddy played it a little bit at work, and I'm trying to think of what you would call it. I guess a survival game, but it's not a hardcore survival game.
Yeah.
But he said it's fun to play with people, but it had its bugs. But
Yeah.
I mean, he said it wasn't bad.
Okay. Then you got Fallout New Vegas. A lot of people call it the best Fallout. Definitely
It
better.
did get a lot of praise, a lot of hype.
Definitely better than 76.
Well, Jeremy, that's not necessarily hard to do. Okay.
I was gonna say. And then Yooka-Laylee. I've always wanted to play Yooka-Laylee, but I just can't justify actually spending money on it. So that's definitely a good price for it.
We kind of talked when we were texting about it. Like when it first came out, I was like, "Oh, this is cool! Like I
Yeah,
really want
me
to play
too.
this." And then for some reason, like it just left my mind totally, and I just totally forgot about it, and I haven't looked back.
I was actually really interested in it because I love Banjo-Kazooie, and this was the same people. But after it came out, it got like a bunch of like middling review scores, and it had to do with like jankiness and just bugs and just kind of game design issues. And then they did do some patches, but nothing to really turn it around. So it's one of those where if I could play it for free, I would, because I'm afraid to spend any money on it and go, it's just not worth it. But hey,
I don't blame you.
It's free now with Gamespass.
It is. Yeah. And I'm telling you, and we say it all the time, it might get wore out, but Gamespass is awesome. Gamespass is awesome. Go get it if you got an Xbox. I don't know why you wouldn't. That's really all the Microsoft news. Did you catch anything else on their front? Because I didn't see a whole lot more.
No, I think it was just that.
Okay. That's what I figured, but, just want to make sure we cover our bases here. But let's keep on rocking, and I might be mistaken here, but is the new Avengers game, is that an exclusive, or is it going to be all cross-platform?
Oh, God. I want to say it's exclusive.
I might have to go down the Google rabbit hole.
Square Enix is making it, but I think it's exclusive to PS4.
A lot of Square's games are exclusives. That's why I'm asking. I'm hopping on the Google rabbit hole. Don't you worry.
Go for it. I can't say 100% if it is or not.
Jeremy, do a jig for the fans to keep them interested. You sound like a Irish gnome.
They're called leprechauns.
All right, so the Avengers game is not. It's cross-platform. It's coming to PC, Stadia, Xbox, and PS4. So,
okay. That makes sense.
We'll let's save that till the end. I want to kind of put those two games together, kind of clear up some loose ends. So let's talk about PlayStation. Two major announcements kind of coming out from them, so that's pretty neat. The first one came from PlayStation itself, and I mean, when I say PlayStation, I mean the actual services they offer. PlayStation Now has cut the cost, the monthly subscription is cut to $9.99 a month, which is where it needs to be. I think that's a sweet spot for it. But it was, if I'm not mistaken, and don't take me to the bank on it, $14.99 a month.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think it was $14.99
for just that service. And I haven't played it lately. I tried it when it first came out. You could try it out for free. And it was really bad back then. I've heard it's gotten a lot better now.
Yeah, I heard it was real laggy when it first started.
Yeah, but now I hear it's pretty good. It's a download service, so you can stream or download. So
better. They
add games. You can stream them right from the service, or like I said, download them straight to your console. You can play the game as long as you have the subscription. If you let your subscription lapse, all your save data is saved in the cloud, so you can, whenever you do your subscription again, you can jump right back in. So it's pretty cool, and they added games like Uncharted 4 and God of War. So big news there. Like they're trying to, you can tell that every company's starting to push this, I guess, download and digital stream platform with the subscription.
Netflix-esque kind
of
service.
You could call it in a general way. It's like Netflix for games.
Yeah, like I said, like this is why I think this is a better option than Stadia, because you at least have the option to download it, so you can play it offline. But
right.
How much is Gamespass? Is it $9.99 also?
So Gamespass, you can do the $9.99 subscription, if I'm not mistaken, plain, which is just Gamespass, or they have the Gamespass Ultimate, which includes Xbox Live, Gamespass for the Xbox, and Gamespass for the PC, which is $14.99 a month.
Okay, but so basically, Gamespass and PS Now are about the same price.
Yeah, they're the same price.
More or less, yeah.
More or less, yeah. They're right in the ballpark. And now they've got, like I said, that Ultimate, which is a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Which spans the PC, Xbox, and, of course, you get your Xbox Live subscription. I think it's a hell of a deal. And with Microsoft, I don't know. I don't think that for Games Pass, I don't think you can stream. I think you just download them.
Okay, but hey, I would rather download anyway.
Yeah, and we're PlayStation guys, all of our Microsoft stands. So let us know if we're wrong. We could be. We are wrong every once in a while, believe it or not.
But I think it's obviously that Sony cut this price to compete with Games Pass, because you can't charge more than your competitor for the same price and really expect to succeed. You gotta be on at least the same price as them, or at least a little bit cheaper. Or if you're going to be more expensive, you really got to offer something substantial.
Right, that's what I was thinking. And these services are almost tit for tat. I mean, I would even say Microsoft probably has more to it. So, in all honesty, before this price drop, I don't even know if PS Now was a viable option, period.
I think now it is a viable option.
I do too.
It really, I think now it just comes down to what console do you have, and if you have both, what games are they offering? Maybe you want Uncharted and God of War, you go for PS4. Maybe you want Cuphead and Ori and the Blind Forest, go for Xbox. It's gonna be about taste.
Oh yeah. And honestly, at some point, you're going to get a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Across the board, everything is going to be equal. So they're all going to have these type of subscriptions. All their, the library is going to be about the same type of bandwidth issues or caps, those kind of things. So that's what parity. That's the word I'm looking for. We're going to have some sort of parity across all of them. But I actually, Jeremy, moving on, I just thought of something. We didn't even put it in our notes here, but it hit me while we were talking about it. PlayStation 4 has rolled out full crossplay with all the other consoles now. Just came out of beta. So now you can play with, and I don't know how deep it is at this point. It just rolled out of beta this week, I believe. But as far as, it's going to be where you can start playing with the Xbox and Nintendo as well. So Sony finally jumped on board. I think we started talking about this, 2 years ago?
All I can say is it's 2 years too late. I'm glad they're finally doing it, but just dragging their freaking feet.
I never knew why, in a game that's offered on so many consoles, let's say I buy Call of Duty, why in God's name can I only play with the people on PlayStation if the servers are Activision servers anyway? Why can't we just all play together, Yeah.
See, that's why it was always just Sony just, they were doing this because they were hoping that, say you get Call of Duty for the PS4 and your buddy has an Xbox or something like that, or maybe your buddy has an Xbox and a PS4, this would encourage him to get it for PS4 so they make more money, But
that's bad in the long run, I think.
It really is. It's just, it's anti-consumer. Sony really, Xbox at least gets the point. You have to play ball. There's obviously giving stuff away to your competitors, and then there's just helping your customers out. Don't put, you want to make it easier for your customers. As long as you're still selling games, like if you buy Call of Duty on the Xbox and Carm buys it on the PS4, hey, at least they're getting one copy. Instead of just going, well, Sony's not gonna play ball, so we'll just both get on Xbox or something.
Yeah, and I think that did happen. People started saying, well, I can't cross-save. I know for a fact, I follow people on Twitter who said, when Destiny 2 came out, for example, who said that I'm not going to play on PlayStation, which is usually my main console, because I can't cross-save. If I play on Microsoft, at least I can go to PC and play.
And that's something else, too, man, is you're going to gravitate towards whoever has the better features. And if it's going to play the same on both consoles, essentially. So why not get the Xbox version where I can cross-play with people on PC and cross-save and all that stuff?
I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, now that we're doing this, in my mind, the dog's barking.
Who let the dogs out?
Might be an intruder. Who let the dogs out? But in my mind, the only thing that should be, I would say, set to one console from another console are exclusives. You need to have your exclusive studios. You got to have your exclusive games. But it's anything beyond that, share it across, cross-save it, cross-play it. There's no reason not to.
Especially
if you own your studios, that's fine. Keep those games. But everything else should be available to everyone.
Especially if it's a multiplayer-focused game.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Destiny's, Call of Duty's, any racing game, fighting game, all that stuff. And imagine games like DC Universe Online, which when I played on PlayStation, you could play with PC people. That was a game that did, if I'm not mistaken, I don't take me to the bank, but I'm almost positive that was the case. But, certain games like that, if you're just stuck to your own servers, there might be 1,000 people playing on PlayStation, but there might be 10,000 playing on Microsoft, So it makes the servers better, it makes the gameplay better, it makes lobbies better, all the way around. I just don't see a negative to it.
Exactly. It's just...
And I think their argument used to be I want to ensure that there's a good, we can keep our consumers safe and they don't have to deal with toxicity, but toxicity's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like Sony's the safe haven where nobody cusses. Sony's just as bad as everybody else.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I've never experienced a 10-year-old saying he's fornicated with my mother when I play on PlayStation.
Never. PlayStation. Never. Oh, no.
Oh, that's strictly Xbox problems. Come on.
Oh man, but I'm glad to see it now. So, like I said, I'm sure we'll hear more about it. But I know it got out of beta and it's off the ground now. So, we can finally say that PlayStation is playing ball and you can crossplay. And the last point for PlayStation, which is honestly, Jeremy, probably my favorite news story, or at least for PlayStation. They have confirmed that Horizon Zero Dawn 2, which Horizon Zero Dawn, if you don't know, is my game of the year. Was it 2 years ago it came out, I think? 2017?
Sounds about right. It was the same year as Zelda. So yeah, I think it was 17.
17. Yeah. That was my game of the year. But they have announced that Horizon Zero Dawn 2, Guerrilla, it is in development. And it will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive title. So it is next gen for sure. But we don't know, and we kind of talked about it before we did the show, Jeremy. We don't know if this is going to be a launch title or if it's going to be just a title coming later into life.
I think if it's a launch title, that is a huge, just bomb drop right there. Because, that's going to be their Breath of the Wild exclusive. You know what I'm talking about? Like how everyone goes on about, oh man, Breath of the Wild is the greatest, launch title of all time. I'm like, this could be right up there. And here's the thing, I didn't really get into the first Horizon Zero Dawn, but if I did get a PS5 and this was available at launch, this would really encourage me to pick it up. Mostly because I could now choose to have the remember in the original Zero Horizon Dawn, you either had to choose frame rate or graphics. Now Now I don't have to do that anymore. I can have frame rate and graphics.
You're right.
And that's that game.
Especially if it's as strong as they say it is.
Mm-hmm. Because that game looked beautiful. But I really had to talk, do I want that 60 FPS, but everything kind of looks or do I want that beautiful lush graphics, but man, I got that 30 FPS. It was so hard to choose. And if I could just not have to worry about it, just have beautiful 60 FPS, robo dinosaurs, and all that, that'd be so much better. It'd be so good.
Yeah, I mean, that game was just amazing all the way around. The story was good. The base of it, the premise is you're fighting robot dinosaurs. Come on. I mean,
yeah. I still love the premise of the game.
And it just kind of hit me, Jeremy. Guerrilla also did a launch title for the PS4.
Yeah, they did Killzone Shadowfall. Yep.
So it wouldn't be the first time they were asked to do a
That's true.
launch title.
Only difference is I think Killzone is a much easier kind of game to make since it's just an FPS.
Oh, yeah.
But
Killzone was fun, but you could tell it was rushed to be it could have been a PS3 title.
It was a very average Killzone game. It was probably my least favorite. But that being said, I think they've probably been working on Horizon Zero Dawn 2 since the first game. So they could have
Yeah, because I don't know about all they really do is Killzone and Horizon, right?
Well, they don't do Killzone anymore because
that's what I was saying. We haven't heard of any. There's no more Killzone. So.
No, they're focusing. I think all they have is Horizon. So they've probably been planning this out. And if anything, my guess is they've probably had the PS5 dev kit for a while, and they've been working on. This could have been something they've been holding back. Maybe.
I agree. This is not new. I feel like this has been in the works for a while.
Yeah, I could possibly see this next E3. If Sony shows up, they'll announce the PS5, and they can announce this as a launch title.
That would be bonkers.
That'd be dope.
What a game to launch with.
Yeah, just please don't be that stupid horseshoe-looking thing. God, I keep seeing more and more rumors that is the actual console. I'm like, God, no.
I don't see it being that... But... It's not, so to me, I don't think it's butt ugly. Everybody seems to hate it. I don't think it's terrible, but it doesn't look like a console, that's for sure.
It doesn't. It looks like something you'd see as a sci-fi movie prop. Plus, why does it have a play, skip, stop buttons on the front? That's why I don't think it's real. I think it's it might be a dev kit, it might be a proof of concept, but I don't think that's good. I pray that's not what the final console is going to be like.
I think most people think that it's a proof of concept.
Yeah.
Which if that's the case, it'll change drastically by the time it comes out. I don't see it being that way. I feel like you're going to have a smooth top. I mean, Sony's, for the most part, has kept a square box through. Well, I know the PlayStation 3 kind of rounded a little bit.
The PS3 was their biggest departure.
Right. Now you're getting sleek lines. Even the PS3, when it started going back to the slims, it started going back towards a sleek box type console.
It was still round, but it wasn't as fat. So
right. It was smaller profile.
Yeah. I think they need to. I think they need to keep that classic line look. Like I was talking about, the flatness.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be cool if like this was a generation that they decided to go crazy with the designs, like as long as they're cool looking, like. Because, people are customizing their PC towers with all kinds of crazy lights and stuff, and everybody's talking about consoles being that powerful now, so maybe they would think about something like that.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do that and make it look not classic, it needs to be badass looking,
I absolutely agree, because that design doesn't look like functionality. It looks like someone's trying to make something look cool, and that's, I mean, I'm fine with that, but it just doesn't look good to me.
I agree, and you know what? A lot of people... I mean, yes, sure, some people are putting them in their kids' rooms or in their man caves or whatever, but a lot of people put these consoles in their living room, and they're not going to want to put a giant neon glowing box with 2 jet engines on it, you know, under their TV.
I mean, that's me. I have mine in my living room, and I want something a little more understated, so I can slap a giant, gaudy One Piece sticker on the front of it.
I want it to be super plain so I can slap the loudest sticker possible.
Oh, and have my bright orange PS4 controllers and all that. Oh.
So... it's funny because I've got the most plain. I've got a launch edition Xbox One, the white one, and I've got the fucking Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
And then I've got the basic ass Switch with the gray Joy-Cons, the white ass Xbox One, and then this bright red Spider-Man PS4.
Dude, like,
it kind of stands out.
I'm sitting here looking. I've got my Switch on my computer desk next to me in the dock, and it's the basic gray. But I swapped out one of the Joy-Cons for a Zelda one, and I have a regular show sticker on my dock.
Nice.
But it still looks pretty good. It looks better than my PS4 with the big, One Piece sticker on it, because it actually looks like a console.
Right. So that's where we're at with not Nintendo, excuse me, Sony. A lot of cool news came out from them. I'm excited to hear what's going on moving forward. Definitely keep an eye on this Horizon Zero Dawn 2, but I feel like we heard they're making it, and now it's going to die down for a little bit. We might not hear it anymore for a little while. So let's end it with a couple of announcements for games. So New York Comic Con's going on right now. They announced that Miss Marvel, and this is the reason I was asking this earlier, it was the newest character announced to be a main character in the Avengers game. She looks cool. Her design is kind of cool. Miss Marvel is not, well, first off, I don't know as much about Miss Marvel. I'm much more of a DC fan, know a lot more about their characters than I do Marvel. But I know she's supposed to be fairly strong, but it's kind of like a Superwoman type thing, right?
Well, she has like super strength. She has got like a basic Marvel line of power: super strength, super speed. Her big thing is she can like kind of do like a Mr. Fantastic, morph her body kind of thing, make big fists and so forth. I'm not a big fan of the new Marvel where they're going. I don't like the new characters they're going for, with the exception of Miles Morales. I do like that Spider-Man, but like I'm not a big Spider-Gwen fan. I'm not a Ms. Marvel fan. They're trying to make these younger, hipper teenage superheroes, and they're coming off just kind of
Well, I thought, I agree, because I thought the same thing about Miles when they first dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Spider-Verse, and I was like, oh, I really like Miles.
Yeah,
and then he was in the game, and I was like, okay, Miles is pretty cool.
Yeah, they write him very well.
They do. I agree.
Yeah, Ms. Marvel, she has her fans, don't get me wrong. And this is all personal opinion, but I don't think she's very well written. I think she's a bland character. Her design's just really weak. She looks like she's kind of just cosplaying.
How does she get her power? Is she,
she's
what's the
literally,
deal, do you know?
She's literally just given them.
Okay.
Yeah, literally just, I think that Captain Marvel comes down and just goes, here's your powers. That's it.
So she is kind of related, or
no,
story-wise related to Captain Marvel?
No, she's just a regular girl, and then Ms. Marvel's just like, oh, here you are, here's some powers. And she's like, okay. That's it.
That sounds kind of boring as a story arc.
Yeah. The writing quality of Marvel has gone down significantly since the golden age of comics, but that's neither here or there for a video game show.
Well, to be fair, as far as, and this is kind of a side tangent, Marvel, within the last, let's call it 15 years, Marvel has basically dominated movies. DC has dominated comics and animated shows.
I can definitely hear that, yeah.
And for the most part, I mean, I guess I think of more DC games, video games, when I think of the two.
Yeah, you think of the Batman Arkham games, obviously. Well,
obviously that's the first.
Let's just be honest here. Arkham. That's the only really good DC games they got going. And Injustice.
Right. Injustice.
Marvel, though,
it's really Marvel vs. Capcoms are fun.
Marvel vs. Capcom and Ultimate Alliance and the Spider-Man game.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and Spider-Man's one of the best games.
Oh yeah.
I mean, ever made, much less comic book game.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like, if you think about it, you got 4 Arkham games, of which they're all very good. Then you have 2 Injustice games, very good. Then with Marvel, you have the Amazing Spider-Man game. Then you have
amazing. Yeah.
Then you have 3 Marvel Ultimate Alliance games of varying quality,
really
but still solid.
The first 2 very good. The third one I hear is very good. Middle of the road.
Middle of the road. And then what was the last one I said? We had Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Ultimate Alliance, and Avengers.
Oh no, we Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, Marvel's Capcom.
Yeah, where you have 3 very good games and then Infinity.
Yep.
So,
but Marvel, Marvel's kind of not lost, but for the comic book wise, they've kind of, from what I've heard and from based on sales completely, I think DC is killing that part of it.
Yeah, Marvel's comic sales have slumped quite a bit. DC's I think have done much better though. I think you're right. I think it just has to do with writing and characters and all that. I think it's because DC's been focusing more on their classic characters. Marvel's really been pushing the new lineup, and people are like, we just want Iron Man and Thor. We want old Hulk.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, there are people who want new stuff, and then a lot of us want the classic stuff. I'm one of the classic guys. I like the characters that were established that I grew up with, that were obviously there before I was born, but the ones that I grew up with. And I'm all about making new characters. I'm just more attached to the ones that I've already got, a relationship with,
Exactly. I mean, I like Miles Morales, but he's no replacement for Peter Parker. I mean,
there'll never be a replacement for Peter Parker.
Let's put it this way: Miles Morales is to Peter Parker what Terry McGinnis is to Bruce Wayne.
That's a great.
He's a great Batman, but there's only one Bruce Wayne.
Speaking of, where's my Batman Beyond game? That's not just a skin.
God, where's my Batman Beyond live action movie? With Clint Eastwood as Batman. Make it happen before he's dead, please.
That's true.
Yes. Not much time
left.
Let's
finish this one out, Jeremy.
Okay.
Let's talk about a game that neither one of us has played. So let's start by prefacing with that, okay?
Okay.
We haven't played this game. Likely, you will never play it. I may get a hold of it.
Okay.
Let's talk about Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Oh, yes.
So, it dropped earlier this week, I believe. And it's not a bad game, but the reviews are pretty middle to bad. Middle to low. The
reviews I've seen have basically all said the same thing, where it's a very average to mediocre game that is barred down because of the absolutely abhorrent level of microtransactions in the game.
That's what I was going to say. So the game itself, I hear, is a decent, let's say a game, right? It's an okay game. You got your Breakpoint. It probably follows the same line as the old Ghost Recon, right? But these transactions, and this is all hearsay, are absolutely outrageous. I've read an article that said everything that you can get in-game, you can buy with real money. There's even a warning, or not a warning, but on the back of games where it's like DualShock, 2 to 4 players, it talks about the third-party transactions, or the microtransactions.
Golly. That pervasive.
So, it doesn't help that you label it. Like, that doesn't make it better.
It might be a law now, It could have been
maybe
like
it is. I don't
know.
I've seen a couple of articles I saw today, and I haven't read them, but apparently they're working on it like always. They're going to say, we're going to fix it. But it's the most egregious form when you're saying that I can just go, what's the point of making a game? Like, why make it an unlockable if I can just go buy it with money,
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. Like, it's not going to be for too long. We're going to see, like, the DLC beat it already, DLC for $20. Pay $20 to beat the game, Like, let me, like, this is where the microtransactions and DLC crap gets out of hand, because I want to be very clear, like, I think they have absolutely every right to put this in the game, as much as I hate it, but it's just not good for business, because whenever you have any kind of pay-to-win microtransaction stuff in there, even if it's like good intention, like, hey, we're just putting this in there in case people are having too hard of a time. I'm sitting there thinking, how do I know you guys didn't purposely tweak this game and make it to a point where I have no choice but to buy this specific gun for this specific mission, or to buy a few extra levels or whatnot in order to stand a chance? It just comes off as real shady and just crappy, and it's just dumb. If you want your game to tank, that's what you do. Like, could you imagine, dude? Could you imagine like Mario Odyssey, where like you have the 900 power moons, but like, oh wow, he seems like really having a hard time getting this power moon that we made nearly impossible to get. Pay $2 and we'll get it for you. Don't you want to get that nice shiny completion, don't you?
Yep, it's a slippery slope. It can get that dangerous. And another thing, like, I mean, if you got a I've heard them called wallet warriors before. They can just say, I got a bunch of expendable income. I'm buying everything.
Oh,
and I'm gonna go in there and just rage.
That's their prime. That's their prime audience right there.
Crazy, man, crazy.
Well, it's like, do you remember that game? I think it was called. What was it? It was that Asymmetric Hunter that came out on the PS3 and 360.
Asymmetric Hunter.
Yeah, it was like where it was a group of hunters. They hunted one monster. And it had
Evolve.
Yes, it had. Day one, it had over $600 of DLC. Day one, and you know what? It died. The game died.
It tanked hard.
Yes, because of that crap. Because you paid $60 for a game with one monster and 4 classes. Yeah, that was it.
That's why it tanked, because they launched with one monster, I think one map, and then your main characters.
Yeah,
but then they're like, here, you can buy all these 5 other monsters.
Yeah, they had like 3 other monsters, and like 2 or 3 other maps, a bunch of other guns and stuff, but you had to buy it all. It's like, then the hell, why would I buy this game? Because you're
right. That's fine. If that's a free-to-play game, like if I download that for free, do that. That's fine.
And that's what they did. Eventually, they pulled the game and they released a free-to-play model where it was the $60 version for free, and you would buy the DLC. If they'd done that at first, it would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, I played DC Universe where you could play for free, but if you want to do all the fun stuff, you paid for it, right? Yeah.
But if I'm paying $60 for a game, I expect the whole game. I agree. I expect all 10 slices of pizza in that box, not 7. And the other 3 sold to me later for $5 a pop.
I know. I agree, Jeremy. We're on the same page. But like I said, last I've heard, they're working on, fixing this issue, rectifying it, and making it right. I mean, it still doesn't excuse the fact that your game is getting pretty bad reviews just for that one reason. I don't know what it's sitting at right now. Let's see here. Google rabbit hole time. Ghost Recon. Was it Breakpoint?
Breakpoint.
Meta. And I always just go to Metacritic because it's the quickest way to get an idea. 56 for the Metascore, 2.6 user score. That is bad.
Audiences don't put up with that crap.
Audiences spoke on this one. Terrible. And I don't think that it's the game itself. I think the game itself is probably an okay game. It's a Ghost Recon battle, just like Wildlands, I would assume.
I don't think it would have been anything amazing, but it would have done much better if it didn't have all this crap in there.
Yeah, Ubisoft puts out a decent product. So
they put out decent, if not mediocre stuff, in my opinion. But as much as I rag on Division and stuff, it's nowhere near this level of garbage.
Oh no! Well, the Division, I think, is compared to Ghost Recon, is their premier franchise.
Well, yeah. Because I'm sure there are microtransactions in Division, but nothing game breaking.
Oh no, nothing like this.
I'm sure it's just like a different colored beanie or whatnot.
Yeah, buy clothes, buy loot crates, but it's all unlockables for your clothes and stuff.
That's fine. If you want different colored clothes, I don't care.
Cute little fluffy unicorns to hang on my gun stock.
Yeah, but if you want at some point where they're putting microtransactions for the Death Slayer machine gun.
The Death Slayer 3000.
Exactly. That's when it goes too far.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks of
Battlefield?
A galaxy far, far away.
Battlefront.
Yes. Which I hear is a really good game now. It's actually on sale on the PlayStation for fairly cheap. I think it's $4.
It was free. It was part of their free games.
Maybe I'm sure I have it then at that point.
Yeah, I'm saying you have to download it. You should at least give it a shot.
I forgot it was free.
You should at least give it a shot then. I
hear it's fixed now. I hear it's really good.
Yeah, you love you some Star Wars.
I do, man. I really excited. We went quick tangent. We went to Joker last night, and there was a nerd there, which I'm usually good with, but it's 9:30. I just want to go watch the movie, and I'm just standing there waiting for Michelle to get out of the bathroom, and he just comes and starts talking to me, right? annoying dude. But I'm a nice guy, so we're talking. He's like, you gonna go see Star Wars? Yada, yada, yada. I was like, I'm gonna go see it. He's like, I'm tired of Star Wars. They ruined it. And I was like, God, thank God Michelle came out. I can't wait to get rid of this kid. We sat in E6 and E7. This kid sat in E9. I was like, what?
Did you beat him up and take his lunch money?
What happened? So, that's how that went.
He is right that they ruined Star Wars.
Yeah, well, I'm still excited for it, but I just wanted to get done with the Skywalker trilogy. There's a lot more Star Wars to talk about than Luke Skywalker.
Is it a trilogy at this point? It's like 9 movies.
Well, the Skywalker series, I guess you call it.
The saga.
This story arc. There's a lot more to Star Wars.
All the Skywalkers are dead. I mean, how could they?
This one, the name of this one is Rise of the Skywalker. So somebody's a Skywalker.
Am I the Skywalker?
Maybe.
That's the twist. They turned the audience. You were the Skywalker all along.
It was you all along. We came to the end, Jeremy. Come to the end. We arrived at the end of our weekly gaming podcast. Did we leave anything out? Anything you could think of?
Nah, there were a couple of jokes I could have made, but we went by a little too fast.
Okay. That's what she said.
Oh, it's always.
Well,
always
you know what?
Says.
Make sure that you're checking out our Select Start videos. We're posting them every Tuesday, Thursday. Some funny stuff. If you checked out the latest Crash Team Racing, there's a lot of screaming in that one, so just be prepared.
We're on to Mario Maker now.
Mario Maker, that was the one. It wasn't Crash Team, it was Mario Maker. So check that out. It's pretty funny. We're playing all of Dan Reichert's stuff. Obviously, shoot us a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You'll have all the links down below, as well as the timestamps, which has been working out pretty good for us. But, Jeremy, go ahead and get us out of here, buddy.
All right. Well, as always, play on and stay
Hella average.
Good night.